Good morning. My study is entitled Enhancing Inclusive Education, the Role of Structured Teacher Training in Supporting Students with Diverse Learning Needs. A little bit of background and rationale behind the study. Inclusive education is a global policy which is aligned with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, particularly SG4 for quality education and SDG 10 for reduced inequalities. Now, this emphasizes equitable access to education and reducing the disparities for all learners. However, despite strong policy commitments, many schools continue to face challenges translating inclusive education into effective classroom practice. Teachers play a central role in this process. They often lack the training and sustained support needed to meet diverse learning needs. Now, for a bit of the problem statement and the objectives of this study, the key issue is that teachers' professional development is often delivered as a one off theoretical workshop with very limited follow up support. Now, the problem is that this creates a disconnect between inclusive education policies and what actually happens in the classrooms. Therefore, this study aims to examine the role of structured teacher training in enhancing inclusive education practice in the classroom, providing teacher confidence, and ultimately supporting students with diverse learning needs. For the conceptual framework of this study, it is guided by a framework that integrates or joins inclusive education principles, teacher professional development models, and social constructivist theory. As illustrated here, structured teacher training leads to improved teacher confidence and skills. This, in turn, would support the implementation of inclusive teaching practices in the classroom, which would then ultimately enhance student participation and learning outcomes. The framework highlights the importance of sustained and practice based professional development in achieving meaningful inclusion. For the methodology and implementation part of the study, it's a structured professional development program that's implemented with mainstream school teachers. The program includes targeted workshops, ongoing structural coaching, and classroom based support. Now, data is collected through teacher self efficacy surveys, classroom observations, and reflective practices using a mixed method approach to capture both quantitative and qualitative changes. Now, this allows for comprehensive understanding of how teacher training in the classroom practice is going to actually work. The expected outcomes and the impact of this study would include increased teacher confidence, improved use of inclusive teaching strategies within the classroom, such as differentiation, classroom management skills, and enhanced student engagement. But more importantly, this study aims to demonstrate how structured professional development can create more inclusive classroom environments and bridge the gap between policy and practice. In terms of the innovation and lifelong learning, the study contributes to the field by moving beyond traditional one-off training models towards more sustained and structured professional development. It emphasizes coaching, real classroom applications, and continuous teacher growth, positioning teachers as lifelong learners. The model also has the potential to be scaled and adapted across different school contexts. And then we are probably talking about the government mainstream school curriculum and also the international school curriculum context as well. And this would contribute to a broader educational improvement as a whole. As a conclusion, inclusive education cannot be achieved through policy alone. It requires equipping teachers with the skills, confidence, and ongoing support necessary to respond effectively to diverse learner needs. Now, structured leader training plays a critical role in transforming inclusive education from an aspiration to a sustainable classroom reality. Thank you.